All right, we are live. This is BCNU News. The news team has assembled. This is a special live report that we're going to be giving. And Mark has a great presentation ready. And with that, I am going to kick it over to Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Jason. Thank you. And hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. All right, the way we're going to start out this presentation and the conclusion of this presentation is that I am presenting this because I think they shot the Falcon Heavy animation, or whatever you want to call it, of the Earth or whatever, live. And I'm going to show you why. Okay, here we go. Where we're going to start out is we're going to look at this Falcon Heavy animation. As you can see, I hope you can see my pointer here. And you can see it okay, Jason?
Yes.
Okay, good. And I'm just going to move it forward here, and we'll show it just the way it happened. Okay. All right, now let's go backwards and take a closer look at that. Now, granted, this is an animation, okay? Which means this is how it worked, kind of, I guess. If you watch the way these cargo fairing doors open, you see they crack open at the top.
Right.
They're a little bit hinged on the bottom. It looks like they have some sort of a hinge there for some reason to get it open far enough, probably. And then they move on past the rocket. The rocket's supposed to be moving past them, I guess, is what they're showing here. Okay, the first thing you'll notice is the position of the spaceman in the car right here. And the first video that we're going to look at is the camera shot from this side of spaceman shooting out, and then you see the Earth, okay? So if you look at that, the way this goes, look the way this cracks open. Yeah, it's on the top of his head is where the seam is.
Right.
Okay. All right. So let's pop forward now. And the other thing that you can see here is when they are cracking open, it's not in a straight line. Okay, they're together straight there, and it cracks open on an angle and then slides back.
Right.
Okay, so pay attention to that, or remember that. All right, let's move up to the next part here. And here we are. Let me slide up here. Right here. Okay, here we are, and they're gabbing, and they're going to transition to spaceman right here. Okay, so now you see that side camera view of spaceman right here, and here is the seam. Right where my pointer is where the seam is. So first off, granted, it was only an animation, but it should have been turned, the fairing should have been turned 90 degrees to be more accurate with what actually happened, right? Okay, so as we go through this, you're going to see this fairing open here. Bam. It opens up. You can see the crack in the door. There is a slight angle on there right now, okay? But watch as we open this up further. Straightens right out. This is a straight line right here. Okay, and this one here is almost straight also. And as it opens further and opens further, you can see that this is a straight line. Okay?
Right.
All right, there we go.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that should have been angled way off, and let me show you where I would estimate that angle to be. Like when it's out here, this should be angled off way over here, like this. No matter if it's on the top or the bottom, this should have been angled off.
Sure.
That's one solid piece. I'm sorry.
Like the animation, it should have been sliding off.
Right. And then sliding down also at the same time. And
Right.
you don't see any sliding off of this at all. Okay. So now let's go back after Spaceman has come out. And first off, and you brought this up in your presentation also, if you look right here where my pointer is by the front wheel, you can see right through and you can see Earth through there.
Where is the
You,
brake rotor?
yeah, exactly. And this is, you know, Elon Musk brought it up. He said this car is exactly the same as the cars driving down the road. Well, I wouldn't take this car down the road because there is no brake rotor there. And if you look at these cars, like this is a high-speed car. If you have a high-speed car, you need heavy-duty brakes, okay? And if you want heavy-duty brakes, you need a big rotor, and you need a lot of pad surface for those brake pads to push up against, and that is not in there, okay? So let's keep going. But see how the Earth kind of blobs out like this? See how it kind of elongates right there? And you'll see that through this whole thing. You know, let me speed this forward a little bit. And see how it comes back? Now it's coming back. Well, now they shut it. Hold on. Now it looks like it's pretty normal. And let me speed past this. There we go. And the glitches that happen only happen on the screen, on the back, on the Earth. Okay, they don't happen. See that glitch right there? That is in the original broadcast. I got this right off of SpaceX's YouTube page. And you can see those glitches across there. That car does not move. What's moving there is the screen or the Earth. Okay, and if you can see as we go further here, there's another jump right there, another jump right there, another one. Okay, but see how this is elongating again? It's kind of like an egg shape, even though this is supposed to be, you know, a transition line between light and dark here. But you can see it still elongates like that. All right. So let me go a little bit further. You can see in this one here, it's really profound how elongated it is. This is another part of that clip. Okay, but this one doesn't have the glitches in it like the other one did. Okay. Those are the problems I see. And this is a picture of the car while they were working on it, supposedly, inside a test fairing or whatever the heck this was. But you can look down here and you can see these doors latch like that. And I swear, you know, when they show this thing coming out, they would have had this twisted around 90 degrees also. But when they opened up the doors, they came out straight. And if you can, just like this would on these rollers here. If you look right here, this sure looks like a screen to me that they're going to open this up to. And that's what I think they're doing. I think they're doing exactly this right here. Okay, and this is an older version of this, of a 360-degree circle vision. And so it has the dividing lines in between the screens. The newer versions don't have that anymore. There's no more dividing lines. And the way that this works is they use projectors. Like they'll use, for example, 8 or 16 different projectors across here. And if they want to move something across the screen, it's handed off from one projector to the other.
Interesting.
Okay, so when they get this blobbing, let me get to the blobbing. There we go. So I call it blobbing, but it's elongating or whatever you want to call it. It's goofing up the what is supposed to be a sphere here. When that's happening, it's passing from one to the other. Not quite right. It's not quite synced right. And that's why it's elongating like that. And the glitching that was going on, that was on the screen, because what's happening here is, if you can imagine that car in the center of this, and they have 3 different cameras, okay, and they're shooting it from the side, and the car is not moving, but the screen is. So the screen was glitching between one projector to the other, or one projector was glitching out. Something was going on there. Here's another example of that. And this is in some mall. I thought it was Chinese, but I didn't look this up to find out exactly where it was. But it's an example of that in a mall somewhere. And they do the same thing right here. They just spin this around, and that's what they do all day long. They just show it like that. And here's another one. Okay, and here it is in a office building, and I'm not sure what they're showing here, but this is the same thing. They're showing it all the way around. So if you can imagine that car being in the center and this being lowered down to the floor, or even curled under the floor, right, to get that underneath shot so you don't show any of the floor, that kind of thing. And the earth is going around in a circle, and the sun is on the other side, and that's what they're showing. One of the advantages of that, even if they're filming it, one of the advantages is you always have the sun and the earth and the moon. They were showing the moon in there too, which was ridiculous, but always in the right spot. Okay, because you got the car stationary, so you have everything in the right spot. Another thing that I think they did with that is they may have had like a spotlight on top of this, okay, if this was on the ground, and had that on a roller going all the way around, timed to be opposite the earth. So that's your sun when you see the sun in those shots.
Right.
Okay. Well, you were beginning to say something there.
Well, I was just going to say, it allows for the opportunity to have one continuous shot.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. One continuous shot. There's no, when they had problems, I think the engineer or switcher operator or whoever you want to call them that was switching from camera to camera, when they were having problems, they would put in like the back engine shot and that kind of thing,
or the control room,
right,
people.
Right, or glitch it out and just put that blank page on there like they were before. But okay, so now the question comes in, and I think once you look at this technology, I think many will agree that this was shot up against her, but I think it was shot live also. And I think they were playing around with that for a number of different reasons. And we'll talk about them in a minute. But the main reason I think it was shot live is because of this right here. And this is a video that I got off of Antonio Subirats. He had mirrored it. And if you watch this, I cut off pieces of this. This is the beginning of that video. And what it's trying to do is show you how pristine this windshield is. And it is. And if you see it from behind, I mean, it looks great. This is what it looked. And if you look at the time signature here, this was 7 minutes in. So this was the beginning of this video. Now, if you go up here, now we're 4 hours into this thing, 4 hours and 12 minutes into it, right?
Right.
Okay, so now look at that windshield. I mean, it looks like a mess. And the only thing that can cause that is moisture. You got to be getting moisture on there. Now, it's just not a matter of getting moisture on there. Look what it did. Look at all these streaks that come across here. Now, streaky windshields are one thing I do know about. And that's because, I was in my very young youth, I was pumping gas for people. That's when people used to come out and pump gas for you, right? That was me. I was one of those guys. And if you did not work that squeegee right across that windshield, you got this. And what it looks like to me is they took a squeegee across that windshield, to clean it because it was getting moisture on it, and they didn't wipe that squeegee off. Look at these streaks here. Now, if you're going to say this was done on CGI, good luck with that one. Good luck with that. I would like to see somebody that can CGI this well. Okay, to get those streaks and everything just right. Look at that one across the bottom like that. That is not an easy task to make this glass and a mirror and have those streaks on there like that. Good luck.
Right.
Yeah, that's not easy. So that's why this is the main reason I think it was done live, or the main piece of evidence to show it was done live.
And as we're finding out, there are more and more evidences popping up of companies, software companies, relatively new software companies, and having the ability to do live stream.
That's right.
Augmented reality, live rendering.
That's absolutely correct. Now think of the advantages of that. You know, not just for space, but for, by the way, if you look right up here, it says imagining. How do you say that? How do you say it? Imagineering. Disney. Disney.com. It says right across there. Disney's involved in this.
Of course.
Of course. Okay, so now if you can imagine, you know, let's say we got 3 cameras in Chicago, and they're broadcasting the streets of Chicago live, and we put those cameras up on these screens right here, and we have a group of people. Let's say they're going to riot or whatever the heck they're going to do. I'm just pulling straws out of the air here. And we want the people of the United States or the world to think there's a riot going on in Chicago right now. Right? They could have cameras in here, and you wouldn't be able to tell if these people were on that street or not. Especially if you're bringing in live camera views. That's one of the ways they could use it. How about when they fake going to Mars? All right. How about when they go to Mars, they bring this thing, you know, they have something like this on here, and they have that as their Quonset hut or whatever you want to call it on Mars. That's where they live, and they have cameras inside of there, and they have video of Greenland, you know, reddish-eyed, and they are showing that on here all the time. You would have no idea whether they're on Mars or not. And when something is done in CGI, like let's say they actually took this car and they pasted it on a screen like this, and then had some sort of a moon or earth thing in the background, right? When you do that and you change the color corrections, like the gamma, okay, for example, or the curves, and you change that, you're going to see a difference between these two. Okay, there's going to be something. There's going to be pixelation around there. You're going to see little pixels of a green screen. If they did it on a green screen or whatever, you're going to see little pixels of that. It's going to show up. And granted, there was somebody that, and I did it myself too, where we changed the gamma and we got some sort of a grid across here. What that is, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what that's doing there. But who knows what technology they got to do this. But with the technology I'm aware of, it appears to me that this is the way they're doing it, and I think they shot it live. And also, one of the reasons why you want to shoot things live like that is because you can change them on the fly. If something changes, and let's say a tweet comes in and it says, "Hey, I was down on that street," and da 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 da. Well, you change to another street, just that easily, and or whatever, you know. I'm just speculating. So there you go.
Your idea about if they plan a Mars mission using technologies such as what you're suggesting, and as we move along in time here, technology is always getting better. Techniques are always being refined.
Right.
Yes, exactly. Earlier today, we tried to do this presentation, we had some echo issues. But what we were talking about was you're at the beginning of this. The the if in fact they are not able to actually go to Mars or go to the moon, think about Capricorn 1, the movie from the 1970s, where
No kidding.
NASA faked the mission to Mars. The disconnect between understanding how much technology we have, the public knows we have, we hold it in our hands every day with smartphones. We watch the movies that come out like Gravity or Star Wars, and the public, general public, understands that we can do amazing things with technology, but then at the same time they don't recognize that it could be used by the government or private companies to their own advantage. And we're at the beginning here where I suspect a mission to Mars would be, there wouldn't be very much critical eye being given to this type of presentation.
I feel the same. If this was a test in a number of different ways. One of the ways it was a test is to see how well their technology was working. Another way is to test the public, and to see if they accept this as real. Okay, I guess I got an update. I could restart now. No. Okay, and
so this is presented as the next big step in our evolution as a civilization, being able to have private space companies, not being dependent on government agencies. So what I'm saying is, just like Stanley Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey, where he honed new techniques in filming, getting away from the front screen projection techniques. He had techniques that he developed in that movie that had never been seen before, and that movie was alchemical. And what I mean by that is it was transformative on the psyche of the general public. For large portions of the movie, there's no dialogue. It takes you into a different place. And just as the monkeys that are depicted at the beginning of the movie touching the monolith, the black stone, the philosopher's stone, the alchemy of touching that stone and gaining access to that knowledge imparted, allowed for the monkey to grabbing the femur bone and tossing it into the air, and then Kubrick geniusly going from that scene to the next scene of seeing a spaceship mimicking the same motion as the femur bone hurtling through space. That kind of alchemy of and message of evolving from one stage of evolution or one stage of our development to the next stage. That's what is missing when we watch the SpaceX video of the Falcon Heavy launch and ostensibly jettisoning this Tesla Roadster into space. I didn't get personally, and this is my opinion, I didn't get personally any alchemical, wow, we're really getting to that next stage vibes from that live stream. I mean, I think people watching 2001 Space Odyssey got more out of that than supposedly this quote unquote reality that's being presented in front of us. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. You could not help on 2001 to be dragged into that movie. And, but when I watched that, I was probably 15 or 16 years old when I watched that. And I had no idea about Hollywood and how they film things, and much less front screen projection, But now that I do editing and I look for these kind of things, and it's hard for me to watch a movie because a lot of times I can tell how they're doing it, and it loses some of its glitter when that happens.
Right.
Unfortunately, but it does. But still, when I watch a movie, especially if it has special effects, I look to see how good they're doing it, kind of thing. And yeah, anyways. But there's one other thing I'd like to show you before we cut out here. And this is a piece that I ran into, and I think this has been on the internet already too, but it sure is funny. If you look at this, okay, first off, Starman here, or Spaceman, or what is his name? Is this Starman? Okay, dumbass. I'll call him dumbass. When he's out here, this should definitely be lit up. I mean, you got the sun out over here where my pointer is, and this should not be in total darkness like it is. But if you watch this, oops, let me go forward here. If you watch this, okay, so it's going through this Terminator line, supposedly, which really looks crappy. I don't think that's what a Terminator line from light to dark. Another thing I couldn't figure out here, look at all this. They're saying it's bubbles. It's not bubbles in space. It's not bubbles. You look here, look right here. Look at this thing right here. See where my pointer is? You see that little white thing, Jason?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and watch it. See it flip around and spin around like that? That's not a bubble. That's something in the air, when they're shooting this thing. And the only thing I could think of is they were trying to dry off that windshield. So they put some fans underneath this thing to help dry it off, get the moisture off of it. And that's when you started seeing stuff fly off of it, straight up in the air like that. That's the only thing I got to think of.
Right.
Anyways, so here we go. More stuff flying off, more stuff flying off. But look at this right here. Okay, so Starman is going like this. So if you can imagine his the rocket is supposed to be like right down here where my pointer is. That's where right down here, right behind him is where that rocket should be, right? So watch this next scene. Burnt. Okay, so how does the Earth start moving like that?
That's very curious.
Yeah, I know. So they go, oops, and then they pop it over to the other one. Oop, there we go. That's better. Now we see the sun. You look at that sun too, and it sure does look like a spotlight to me, or some sort of maybe a little bit of a diffused light on it. I don't know, but it sure looks like a spotlight.
Tinfoil, the magical tinfoil. I love.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. You want to talk about your tinfoil? The magical tinfoil. Well, there you go. That's the end of my presentation.
Thank you. Fantastic.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Okay.
I don't know if we have any questions or any thoughts.
Yeah, let's find out. I can't see. Can I
go to chat and I will go look quick here?
I have something that if you could go back in the video to the start when you were showing the wheel.
Certainly. Right there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to take your eye to the top of the wheel arch. Sorry, not the wheel arch. The top of the wing nearest to you. You can see an orange line. That's
right here?
Further towards the windshield.
Okay.
There. Okay. So you've got that. Go a little bit further forward on the car. So towards the nose. Okay. So there, if you keep it there, that orange line is showing a change in contour, a sharp change in contour. Yeah?
Change in what?
In contour.
Contour. So, yes. Yes.
Contour.
Sorry.
So if you think in terms of straight lines and perspective, okay? Mm-hmm. If you go back to that orange line that you've got, Mark.
Yep.
If you take a straight line from that wing to the wing on the other side of the car.
The wing is the fender, correct?
Yeah, no, that's it. From there, from the orange line back up to that red line, back and forth, you can start to determine what the angle is between those two. Yeah?
Yes.
Because the higher red line is not something in the center of the hood. That's the other wing. The center
Right.
of the hood is a vinyl type material. It's gray, dark gray.
Yep.
Yeah?
Right here. Yes.
So now you can determine the angle. If you were to place a rigid plank, you can determine what angle it would be at. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now, if you were to do the same between this wheel that we see,
Okay.
you realize that you should be able to see, if nothing else, the other wheel.
Pretty close. Yeah. I'm not sure what this X is right here, if that's the other wheel or what.
No, I think
I
that's
don't know
just
what that
a
is.
bracket. I think that's a bracket that the car is bolted onto.
Oh, is it?
That angle. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I spent a long time looking at the wheels, looking at the new Tesla Roadster, looking at old footage of
I
this
did
original
too. I did
Roadster.
too.
Yeah, to find whether or not there does seem to be a lot of space in there.
Yeah, there definitely should be a brake rotor in there.
There should be something.
And that's
but-
the only thing I can really say as far as it being if the battery pack is up in here. I can't tell.
Yes, but think of this. There would definitely be another wheel on the other side of this
Yes.
car.
Yes.
And if you follow the lines of perspective, the other wheel should be visible. If not within the voids in the center of the wheel, at the very least in the triangle at the bottom of the wheel. You see that triangle?
Right here.
Yes.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You see, if you determine the angle from the top of the car, then you can extrapolate the angle. If the wheels were standing on a board, you can replicate the angle at the top of the car, and you see the other wheel would have to be there somewhere. The other wheel
Right.
has to be there.
Right.
It can't not exist.
Right.
This is not a car that's like 3 yards long, you know.
No.
So where's the
Well,
other?
it could be. It could be a car 3 yards long. You know, the way they're doing this thing. Who knows? You know, that's the other thing too. It could be just a miniature model that they're doing. Who knows?
Yeah, I think it's a real.
I think it is,
life-size
too.
car.
I think
really
it
do.
is life size also, and I think they did it. You know, this is the room. This
Yeah.
is a room that they shot it in. I think is what I think. But you know, I wasn't there. But just from the evidence that I've seen and that's available to you, sure looks like it to me.
I'll tell you something else. Something else someone pointed out was the tripod devices that the cameras are on. Don't they seem extremely thick, chunky, and heavy?
Tripod? Oh, you mean?
The
Oh,
bracket.
yeah. You mean that bracket out in front?
Yeah.
we
and
know
the-
what-
Yeah, I thought that too.
Do we know what cameras they were using?
I don't.
I don't either. I don't know what cameras they're using, but in all the shots, you can't see any of the other cameras either.
Yes.
Weird. That's another reason that makes me believe, you know, they might have been able to turn this vehicle too. I don't know how they, or else they had, you know, like a camera in the front, and they had a camera guy in the front, and then they glitch out, and then they show it from the back. I don't know.
I think it would be easy enough to set up the 3 cameras, record from those 3 cameras,
Hmm.
and then have the Earth and the rest of the environment rotate around on the screen like you've just shown,
Yeah.
and switch between that movie, which was either filmed and aired live, which is a maybe or possibly,
Yep.
and the other movies of the boosters. You know those 2 movies of the
Oh, yes.
boosters?
Those are definitely movies or CGI'd or something.
Yeah, just insert it as a stopgap
Right.
if somebody needs to run on the stage quickly and wipe down the windshield.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly. Get up there. It's not, no, you know, it's your turn.
Yeah. But look, okay, right now we can see Australia. See that there?
I
At the
know.
top of the globe.
And then you do it
That's
next time, and
Australia.
Australia's down here.
Ye-
way at the
yes, but
bottom.
wait. The way Australia is oriented right now, okay, you know how Australia's got the it looks like somebody has bitten the bottom of it, okay, like dental marks.
Like over here, you mean?
Yes, it looks like somebody has bitten the bottom, and like the two has got two fingers pointing towards Papua New Guinea, the top. Yeah. So at the bottom there's that concave area, and so if you bring the cursor to the starman's wrist, and you make a circle around there, that would be a straight line between this vehicle and the center of the Earth. Yeah. Well, if you get a globe, yeah, if you could draw a straight line between the center of the globe,
I didn't even notice.
yeah, the surface of the globe, and then Australia, if you place your globe, how that is, I've got my globe right now, it's about, I'll tell you now, 60 degrees south latitude.
Right.
So which way is Mars?
Yeah.
Which way to extend this? Because this is supposed to be heading towards the sun. It's supposed to be heading not towards the sun, but in Earth's orbit, getting slightly closer to the sun so it can slingshot and then veer off towards Mars. Well, the sun is not at a straight line from 70 degrees, 60 degrees, 80 degrees south latitude. That's not where the sun is. And just from this simple image, you can say, okay, let's just look at this image and analyze it and see what's going on. Where's the center of that globe? You can establish where the center of that globe is. Okay, it would be around the wing mirror and his knuckles. You can make and his wrist. Wing mirror and his wrist. Okay, that would be maybe a little bit higher. Maybe the wing mirror and the portion of the windshield. Maybe that would be the center. Very close to that.
Close
enough. Line straight down. Yes. It's like, okay, which direction is this thing going?
I have no idea.
Neither do they.
That's excellent. I didn't even think about it. Did you see the little dragon up here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Swing.
Yeah.
There he is.
Scary stuff.
What's that?
Scary stuff.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how true all that is, but you do notice it once you see it. There you go. Any other questions for anybody out?
Yes. What do you think of the images where there's no light falling on the car whatsoever? It's in complete silhouette, but the Earth is lit from an angle.
Can't happen.
No.
I think Mark showed that earlier.
Yeah.
Especially because in one of those where you've got no light falling on the car or the puppet, the dummy, zero, no, everything is in silhouette. Somehow there's a chink of light on the wing mirror.
I know. I saw that.
Which must be the sun.
I know it. And then it moves across.
Yes.
So,
and then it starts to illuminate. It's like
somebody cracked open a door somewhere.
Yeah. Somebody was, they probably employed 5 or 6 people, one to just keep the others entertained, one there on the dimmer switch, Yeah. So the easiest guy's job was the one on the spotlight when he had to look and keep up with his time at 45 minutes, dim the spotlights for 5 minutes. And,
he gets paid 6 figures for that.
Yes. And then they go to a party and end up dead. The family.
Right. And there you go. Yep.
Yeah, just like the guys who did the glitches on 9/11. Yeah. The U.S. Army intelligence, who were based at what building was it? The CNN building. They relocated there in May. Army intelligence had relocated there for command and control. Is it command and control of?
I'm not sure.
I forget. Damn it! It was announced just a couple of it was in May that they moved And later on that September, you had 9/11 happen.
Oh, I see. Oh,
So, yeah. I forget the words. It's late here in the UK. My brain is a bit.
and it's just like the 21 trillion that was missing the day before.
Yeah, that backstabbing that was going on with Bush and Cheney saying it was Rumsfeld, and Rumsfeld. Well, oops. Oh yeah, well, like this. Where's that money gone?
Well, we don't know now. It got blew up.
Yeah, let's do some accounting on the Enron fiasco. Yes, we're doing that at the Pentagon. Where the Pentagon? This wing here. Oh, that's interesting.
Bullseye.
That one there, is it? Right. Yeah. And then there's the military personnel who came out, having been in that wing and testified in Congress that it wasn't a plane that hit, and that all the papers, everything they were working on all that financial scam. Yeah, all of that just gone. All that story and history gone.
Everything gone.
Yeah.
And they walk away scot-free.
Yeah. Well, they walk away scot-free, but they've got it hanging over them.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they know. I mean, look at the Clintons now. They'll be moving to one of these countries that has no extradition treaty with the US before we know it.
Yeah, that's right. Oh boy. All right. Is there anything else? Anybody in the chat or anything that has said anything?
I've been looking. There really isn't a question yet, I don't think. Wendy, you can maybe listen back at your own leisure to Mark's presentation. Thanks everyone for showing up. I did a small short intro video that I was hoping to include in our original attempt at this video, but my incompetence and sound issues
We'll get better.
made me edit that video into a small little video that I posted on my channel earlier. So anyway, attempts at being professional out the window.
It comes with practice, says the one who's been doing it for a couple of years and messed up last time I did it. So, yeah. Jason, you just have to take it with a pinch of salt. And
Can I stop sharing?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second, Mark.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Oops. I think I'm done now.
You're good.
Okay.
All right. Well, with that being said,
we have a question from Eternal Padawan. What do you think of the tire pressure question?
You know, I've thought about that. You know, I am a car guy and a guy that worked on cars for many years, and you know, I thought about that, and I saw the thing is the car has got, or Earth has got what, 14.7 pounds of pressure on it, right, per square inch.
Mm-hmm.
So if you actually take the tire that is at, let's say, 40 pounds of pressure per square inch, and you put that up into space, all you're doing is you're removing the 14.7 pounds of pressure. So that means that tire's got to go up to 55 pounds of pressure now. I don't know if that's how it would work, but it seems logical.
I showed this in my intro video to this earlier today. The pressure in outer space is 1.322 times 10 to the minus 11 Pascal. That is a very small number.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have an idea, because you said that it seems right, Mark, and I thought about this. But okay, well, there's two ways that it can seem right. What you just said, but also there's this way of seeming right. Say you have your tire in the car, and you set up your pump to start pumping it up, and it says PSI 0. It starts at 0. You haven't put any air in. There's air in. It's not in a vacuum.
True.
So you're starting from 15. 15 is 0.
Oh, yes, you're right.
So when you put it up to 40, its overall pressure is already 55.
But it only reads 40 on the gauge.
Yes, because the ambient 15
Okay,
is part and parcel. So now when you take it out into the vacuum, is it now 70?
I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't think that's how it would work.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But
one of those things.
But if it isn't the pressure, the temperature, in the sunlight, boom, should have blown them tires like nothing.
But then again, what they could have done, even though they said they didn't prep it, okay, if I was sending that to outer space, I would have simply just taken the valves off, left the wheels empty, take the valves off. Yeah, you know.
Right.
What was the temperature of the car, of the tires, inside the cargo bay as it was going inside the cargo bay of the Falcon Heavy rocket, as it was going through the thermosphere, and then what was the temperature of the cargo bay before it was jettisoned? That's information I have not come across.
No,
Well,
I haven't seen.
If you look at what they say, okay, I forget who it was, made a video about what the authorities say about the thermosphere. And there's a variance of 1,000 degrees between two different websites who are describing the conditions of the thermosphere. Two different, apparently legitimate websites with 1,000 degrees Celsius difference, not Fahrenheit. 1,000 degrees Celsius difference. So one says up to 600, the other says up to 1,600.
Right.
Well, it's like, okay, well, let's say it was 600. All of this is just magic. They're just completely made up.
It is.
Let's say it was 600. Well, if it was 600, then you wouldn't send a digital disc made out of quartz, because it would melt. You know, it's like, come on. I mean, the windshield would melt.
Yes, it would.
Oh,
Yep.
Here's a really good thing that Globalings have said about the condensation on the windshield.
Oh, I got to hear this.
Of course, you can have condensation on a windshield in the vacuum of space. Have you never seen vacuum tests done with water and you see the condensation on the vacuum tube?
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh my God.
yes.
Vacuum
Actually,
chamber.
Yes.
I was going to say
That happens
vacuum
because
chambers.
it's cold. It gets colder.
Because there's a barrier.
Right. There's a barrier there. And a temperature
We're
difference.
talking the infinite vacuum of space. That is the model that we are presented. That's quite a bit different than a vacuum chamber on Earth.
Yes.
I think, or maybe I'm completely
Yeah.
arguing from a position of ignorance. Very possible.
Yeah, they measure the vacuum in space by torr. And you can't even, it's hard to recreate that on Earth. You can't recreate that with a vacuum pump.
And we get to the positive pressure system of Earth existing simultaneously with the infinite negative pressure system, supposedly of the vacuum of the infinite space. And they bring up gradients, and
Right.
you can't. There's no, the temperatures are different because there's not enough particles to bump into each other, and we've heard that.
I was listening to a young globaling the couple days ago, and he was saying that the reason flat earthers do not understand space is because they don't understand how vacuum works.
Right.
And they do.
I guess.
What? What?
Well, I tell you what, every time I stick my hand in the vacuum cleaner thing, it sucks it in. It's supposed to be a vacuum.
Well, right. If you think of a helium balloon released from the surface of the Earth, there's very little pressure. It's a balloon. It's filled with helium, but it's not like it won't reach 4 or 5 psi. It would be very little pressure.
Right.
Once you let go of it, it's going to very quickly get to a point where the pressure in the helium balloon is going to make the helium balloon expand,
Right.
which is what it does. And
Yep.
it continues to do this. So the pressure difference between the inside and the outside of the balloon is very mild, is very little. But yet they explode. So
Right.
it's sufficient pressure to increasingly cause a variance. So
That's a good point. That's a good point.
maybe the Globians don't know so much about the vacuum.
Well,
Because
if
let's face it, when they tested the astronaut suit on the poor chap whose saliva started to boil before he keeled over, have you seen the footage?
Of
I
what?
think I did see that.
The guy in a suit in the vacuum chamber trying out an astronaut suit.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so he's
Oh
in
my
the vacuum chamber. They start to reduce the pressure, and before he gets to vacuum, his saliva starts to bubble.
Yeah.
And then after they reach the vacuum, the supposed vacuum, and he just keels over, stiff as a board, over backwards. The thing is, they haven't got him there with straps so that he won't fall. They've got him with a very inconvenient bar just behind him so he can topple right over it, which he does. He topples backwards right over it onto his head, onto his helmet.
Oh my God.
So that's the effects of the vacuum.
Oh my.
Like the vacuum inside a suit that's designed to withstand the inverse pressures.
And by their numbers, they didn't even get close to what space is supposed to be like, I'm sure.
Yes, but the thing is, that's a suit that was designed by people who know about the vacuum. So obviously they don't know about the vacuum. You know?
That's good. Yeah.
Come
Yeah,
on.
you're right. I love it.
Oh.
That's excellent. I'll have to see that video. I'll have to check that out. I haven't seen that.
Oh, if I can find it, I'll pass it to you now, and maybe you can screen share it. Just give me 2 minutes.
I have a question, Antonio and Mark.
Okay.
Putting aside the oxygen or lack thereof issue, if you put, I want to know what a person would feel temperature-wise if they were just not in a spacesuit in space. What is the NASA fanboy
The way I understand it,
answer for what you would feel?
you would be
Either it's cold
boiling.
or it's not. Either
you'd be
it's
boiling on one side because you're getting the sun, and the other side is ultra freezing. Is the way I understand it, and that's why they like when Apollo 11 went to the moon, they did what called a barbecue roll. So all the time that they're on their way to the moon, they're rolling, so they don't burn up or freeze to death for some sort of a medium temperature.
So they're baking the potato evenly, on all sides.
Yep.
Right. Like a chicken in a roaster.
You're right. It's the barbecue roll. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the way I understand it. So if you had that car, and that's why this SpaceX thing is spinning too, supposedly, is to keep it from doing that, I guess.
I've got the footage, guys.
Okay, cool. Jason, can you,
hold on 1 second.
Okay.
or maybe you can share it, Antonio, just share your screen or something?
Okay, let me know when you're ready to present, and I'll present you, Antonio.
Oh, can I just pass it to you guys and you do it? Because
Sure.
I have to open a different browser. I've got a million windows.
okay,
open.
Just
sure,
pass
yeah.
it. Just pass it.
Okay. Oh, I'll timestamp it as well. Okay, so it will start playing, and you can play it with volume maybe or without. Okay, I'm passing it here in the chat, here in the handout. Here you go. You see what I mean about the very inconvenient bar behind him? It's like, wow, that was well thought out.
Well,
Mark,
they never expected that. You want me to do it?
Mark, if you want to click on that link and present, and I'll present
Absolutely.
you when you're ready.
I guess I might have watched this. It was already halfway up. Or did you want it halfway up?
Yeah, I timestamped it.
Oh, shoot. I messed that up already. Okay. Let me, oh, wait a minute here. Can I hit share screen now?
Go ahead.
All
Just
right.
get ready.
Here it'll be real quick.
I'm presenting you, Jason. Thanks for
There.
the controls.
I thought I had my box highlighted, but
There.
Okay.
that was not a sex thing either.
Are we?
Okay, you're sharing now.
Yep.
Mark.
Okay, here we go. Can everybody hear that?
It's very faint.
I can hear it. You want me to bring it up?
Yeah.
I could feel the saliva on my tongue
How's that?
Yes, it's good.
starting to bubble. Just before I went unconscious. And that's kind of the last thing I remember. Essentially, he had no pressure on the outside of his body. And that's a very unusual case to get. And there's very little in the medical literature as to what happens when you have that. There's a lot of conjecture, that your fluids will boil.
Within 25 seconds, a co-worker sitting in a partially pressurized antechamber and wearing an oxygen mask was able to dash in. At the normal rate of repressurization, it would have taken 30 minutes to make the chamber safe. Hess repressurized it in just over a minute.
It's much, much faster.
You want to keep going?
No. It was just
Okay.
that the comedic falling over backwards, stiff as a board.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Over
Here,
something.
let's go up. I might have messed that up here. Let me go up a little bit further. Here we go.
There really wasn't any feeling. Just happening so fast, trying to get the chamber back to a safe pressure and Jim to a safe pressure inside the suit. As I stumbled backwards, I could feel the saliva on my tongue starting to bubble
Oh man.
just before I went unconscious. And that's kind of the last thing I remember. Essentially, yeah.
There we go.
And guess what, guys? Guess what?
What?
On this date in history, February 20th, 1962, astronaut John Glenn became the first American to orbit the Earth as he flew aboard Project Mercury's Friendship 7 spacecraft.
And he got to become a senator and almost the president.
Right. Right. Well, that happened. Maybe.
Right.
That last part happened.
Right.
And maybe the first part did too. I don't know. I'm not an auto hoaxer, but I just play one on YouTube.
There we go. I'm unshared. Is that okay?
Well,
I should have said something first.
Yeah. It happens.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Wait, don't tell me it didn't play. Oh, guys, I think it didn't play.
The video?
In the Hangout. Oh, yes, it did. Sorry.
It did.
Yeah. My video had paused for some reason.
All right.
Right, good. All good.
That was a good video. That's interesting.
So much for what they know. And, it's true what they know about pressure and the bends and various things like that. A friend of mine is a champion diver. She's retired, okay, but she was a champion deep dive diver. These people who don't have any oxygen masks, anything like this. They just have their scuba suit and goggles and hold on to a weight that drops rapidly, and they hold on to it for as far as they can drop, and they drop 100, 200 meters. They then let go and rise up to the surface with their lung capacity. Their lungs collapse when they do this. So they have to exhale all the air to do this, and they dive very deep and they rise very deep very quickly. And the reason they don't really have any problems is that they haven't spent any time at depth.
Oh, I see.
But she's a champion. She went all over the world doing it.
Wow.
Yeah, let me see if I can maybe pull up a video about it, and you'll see what I mean. It's a
Unshare me, Jason, if you can.
I have Antonio presenting right now. I'll switch to me, and then when you're ready, let me know.
Mine says Raised by Gypsies is presenting.
Oh, that's you.
That's just your screen. You can hit stop, and then
Hit stop. Where's stop? I don't know.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're not seeing that.
I'm tired of looking at my face. That's all.
Sorry, it's called free diving.
Oh,
sure.
And the world record right now is 145 meters. So let me see if this video is any good to show, like visually speaking. Let me see. Oof, kind of harsh. Must be fascinating for you guys hearing me breathe. So watch this. Okay, yeah, I'll share it. I'll try and find it.
Okay. Let me know.
Okay.
Ready?
One sec. Oh no, sorry. I meant I'm going to pass you guys the link.
Oh, okay, sure.
Because Jason, do you remember last time that I was in a Hangout and I kept dropping?
Yes.
I would just drop for no good reason. It was when I was switching between browsers because I have Safari and Opera. So
you use Safari, huh?
I do. There's the link in the chat here, and I've timestamped it again. It cuts.
I won't mess with it this time. Oops.
I'll click on it time
as he's sinking, as he's diving, and yeah, that's as much as I saw.
Are you gonna do it, Jason?
I can do it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we go. At least the chat is on.
But this is a guy I don't know, but my friend who was a British champion. She's called Rebecca Coles, real person. You know, she's cool. She's one of my closest pal's sister.
Wow, they put something over their eyes too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What is that for? Just keep their eyes. Well, they got to be able to see, right?
Well, it's mainly by pressure, by how much pressure they're taking.
Yeah. So is that to protect their eyes from the pressure?
Possibly. Nothing showing, by the way, on the actual Hangout.
I'm trying to figure out which screen it is to share.
You want me to share? Jason?
No, that's all right. Hold on. Just keep. I found it. Hold on. Can you see it?
Yes, got it. I'll present you to everyone. Now you're showing to everyone.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're ready, and I'll present you.
Okay. I'll hit play here. Do you need sound?
No.
Okay.
Oh, they're weighted when they go down.
Yeah.
Holy crap. How far down is he going?
145 meters, which is, I think, about 160 yards, 170 yards, perhaps.
Holy shit, 170 yards. That's like...
That's deep.
450 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Look, he's still going down.
Wow.
He's still going down.
Wow. Now this is exploration.
Yeah.
$145 meters is 475 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's a long ways.
I would imagine it takes a lot longer to come back up to ascend and hang out at certain depths to avoid the bends. How long does it take them to get that full distance?
Only a few seconds.
And then he comes back up right away?
Yeah. Straight back up.
Really?
Oh,
Straight back up.
but he
Immediately.
is.
Is it
He is-
because the short amount of time he spends down there, the nitrogen doesn't build up in his lungs?
It's because he had no air in his lungs when he started diving.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
He's out of air. So he's got to, they have to really learn how to slow down their heartbeat.
That's amazing. Well, the bends occur because of how much nitrogen you get into your bloodstream, right?
Yeah. And that's based on how long the pressure is expanding your hydrogen, which is releasing the nitrogen, and the.
Oh, I see. Yep. Yep. Yep.
There
Amazing.
you go.
If someone wants to unpresent me,
Yes.
yeah, well, I think I
happened.
showed it.
It
Oh, well.
happens.
All right. Well, it's been fun. I think we're going to end there, unless there's something else you guys wanted to talk about.
Oh, no. Off and Red just said that they didn't see the video.
Really?
It'll
Yes.
be posted. Sorry.
Yeah, I will post the video now in the chat. Sorry, everyone. I don't know what happened. I
don't either.
pressed present to everyone, but at least you didn't share the the link.
I was thinking I did.
There's the link, everybody, if you want to see the free diver.
That is amazing. I didn't realize they did that. Not like that.
There you go. So, did you say you're wrapping up, Jason? Because if
Yeah.
not, yeah.
Yeah, I think we can wrap up. It's been fun. I hope everyone enjoyed Mark's presentation.
Yes, thank you all for showing up. Thank you, Antonio, for coming on in.
Hi, you're welcome.
And we'll see what kind of feedback we get on this.
So everyone that
Curious.
missed it earlier, just scroll back to the beginning of the video, and I think
Check
it's
it out.
pretty interesting. It needs more discussion. It needs more analysis. The 360 live time streaming rendering possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to see your feedback on that. And if you don't think it was a 360-degree screen, explain the glitches and the oblonging of the Earth and things like that, because I have no idea how else they'd do that.
Yeah,
How
I
else
think
that could occur.
I think it was a screen. I
Yeah.
thought that from day one.
Yeah,
I can tell you guys this is slightly different note, but you know how they kept restreaming American News America or American News, a channel on YouTube kept streaming that video continuously as live. That's where Jerry Nissen pointed out that they had edited some of the feed, all kinds of shenanigans. Well, after a week of playing it live, even though they only had enough battery power for 10 hours, apparently, and the last image sent was the Earth very small in the background. I showed this in a video where you have the Earth very close by, and then you have the Earth in the same stream, their own stream. They played the Earth close by with a roadster, and then they cut to the Earth very distant. You can see the whole of the Earth and small in the distance.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, back to the boosters and then back to the nearby Earth. Well, this week they placed a banner that reads replay.
Oh my
So
god.
for a whole week, they played it live now.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. And the Globelings, the things that Globelings are saying to try to justify the errors.
I bet.
I don't know if you guys know this, but before, just after the Tesla Roadster went up, Globelings were coming over to channel saying, "Oh, I don't see. I see your flat earthers have gone all quiet now that the Roadster's been launched." And it's like,
I love that.
that's
Jimmy
how I
Church
heard
talked
about
about
it.
that.
Yeah, but it's like, what? No, what? So, now they've gone very quiet, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
Well,
They
they're
were just continuously, like, how when the photos were taken of the Isle of Man with Ireland in the back. Oh, by the way, there's another guy who's taken a photo of the Isle of Man from Ireland at 90 miles distance.
Oh, no kidding. Excellent.
Yeah, an Irish guy. Yeah,
That's good.
I messaged him telling him if he takes a photo end of May, start of June, the sun will be silhouetting the Isle of Man.
Oh,
Really
nice.
beautiful photo. Yeah. So, when we've got anything big, we go on about it till it's dead. Right.
Absolutely.
The Globelings have dropped this like a hot potato.
they've dropped it because they're utterly and completely convinced that it's real.
And we're just making stuff up. We're just screwing around with it.
I want to make this very clear. Without being very clear, I highly question the heliocentric model. I really suggest everyone check out the movie The Principle. Would you suggest people watch that, Antonio?
Yes, I would.
It's a good starting point.
Yeah, it's a good way of looking at how heliocentrism might be wrong in more than one way. When people start thinking, okay, so maybe heliocentrism is wrong in this way, then they can. It's just a smaller step to get to it's wrong in extra ways, including the sphericity point. Yeah.
Yeah. I like The Principle too. I thought that was very well done. Very, very well detailed and easy to follow. It's a very good movie.
Exactly. All right. Well, everyone, that's a wrap. And look for us to do future news review roundtable shows on Be Seeing You News. And usually we're going to be doing that on Tuesdays. So we will be seeing you.
Be seeing you.
Be hearing you.